As Sergeant Kyle Patel's captured ship approached the lunar base, the final ancient site on Earth activated. All 30 nodes of the GAIA network were now online, forming a complete circuit around the planet. In the command center, Dr. Paul Winters and Dr. Kate Rodriguez watched in awe as their monitoring equipment showed unprecedented energy readings. "Something's happening," Kate said. "The network isn't just defending Earth anymore. It's transforming." On screens around the world, people watched as the planet's surface began to glow with faint blue lines, like veins carrying energy. The northern lights appeared simultaneously at both poles, then spread toward the equator. Major Sam Collins felt a strange sensation in his mind, as if another consciousness was gently touching his own. Looking around, he saw others experiencing the same thing. "Dr. Winters," he said slowly, "what's happening to us?" Paul stared at his hands, which now had a faint blue glow. "The separate abilities we've been seeing in individuals. They're connecting. The planet is creating a unified consciousness." On the moon, Kyle and his team fought their way into the lunar control base. Enhanced by Earth's power, they moved with incredible speed and precision, overwhelming the Vorkath defenders. "We've reached the main control room," Kyle reported back to Earth. "But there's a problem. The system requires a Vorkath to shut it down. Their DNA is the key." Before anyone could respond, Supreme Commander Zextal's voice interrupted their communication. "Humans," he said, his tone filled with rage. "You have fought well, but it ends now. The planet killer is charged. In 3 minutes, your world dies." In space, Captain Diane Foster's fleet had taken heavy losses. Half her ships were destroyed, the rest damaged. But they had eliminated 5 of the 7 target vessels. "We can't reach the other 2 in time," she reported grimly. On Earth, the blue glow intensified. People everywhere felt the connection growing stronger, linking minds across continents. It wasn't mind control. Everyone remained themselves, but they could share knowledge, strength, and purpose. Dr. Rodriguez suddenly understood what was happening. "It's not just a defense system," she told Sam. "Earth itself is sentient. It's been sleeping for thousands of years, and now it's fully awake." Through the unified consciousness, knowledge flowed to Kyle Patel on the moon. "I understand now," he said. "Stand by." With newfound knowledge, Kyle approached the alien control panel. He placed his hand on it, and blue energy flowed from his fingertips into the system. The Vorkath technology recognized him not as human, but as something more. "Impossible," Zextal shouted as he watched from his command ship. "The system only responds to Vorkath genetic code." "Not anymore," Kyle replied calmly. "Earth has adapted us. We've changed." On his command, the planet killer powered down. The threat was neutralized. But Earth wasn't finished. The blue energy that had been gathering around the planet suddenly concentrated, forming a massive shield. Then, with startling speed, the shield expanded outward, engulfing the moon and beyond. The energy passed harmlessly through human ships, but struck the Vorkath fleet with tremendous force. Systems failed. Weapons went dead. Engines shut down. Supreme Commander Zextal watched in disbelief as his mighty warships drifted powerless in space. For the first time in the long history of the Vorkath Dominion, they had been utterly defeated. "This cannot be," he whispered. His communication officer looked up in shock. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from Earth itself." Through the unified consciousness, Earth spoke through thousands of human voices simultaneously. The message was broadcast to every Vorkath ship. "We are Earth. We have slept for millennia, waiting for those who would threaten life in this galaxy. We are one of the guardian worlds, seated across the stars as a check against empires like yours. You may leave in peace, or you may stay and learn. But conquest is not an option." In orbit, Captain Foster watched as the disabled Vorkath ships hung motionless. "What happens now?" she wondered. On the surface, Sam Collins felt the answer through the planetary consciousness. "Now we help them understand. Earth wasn't meant to be a weapon, but a teacher. 2 days later, Supreme Commander Zex Toll stood before Lauren Chen and representatives from Earth. His 4 eyes showed no arrogance now, only wonder. "We accept your terms," he said simply. As the defeated commander spoke, Earth's blue glow continued, a reminder that some worlds were never meant to be conquered. With the activation of 28 sites, Earth's defense network grew stronger. The time had come for humanity to fight back. Captain Diane Foster stood on the bridge of a hastily modified aircraft carrier. Her fleet of ships had been retrofitted with technology based on what they had learned from the ancient sites. "All vessels, prepare to launch," she ordered. Around her, sailors who had never been to space checked their equipment. Their ships were never designed to leave the ocean, let alone the planet. But the Earth's energy network had changed that. "Energy grid at full power," her second-in-command reported. "We can launch whenever you're ready." Diane took a deep breath. "Launch all ships. Target the Vorkath command vessels. We take the fight to them." Across the world's oceans, naval vessels lifted into the air, propelled by blue energy from the planetary grid. The sailors aboard felt stronger, sharper, their minds somehow connected to their ships. In the skies above, Vorkath observers couldn't believe what they were seeing. Human vessels, clearly not designed for space travel, rising toward them. "Impossible," a Vorkath commander muttered as the alert sounded. "Their ships cannot function in space." But they did. The human fleet, glowing with blue energy, soared past the atmosphere and engaged the alien armada. On the ground, Colonel Eric Adams led his enhanced Special Forces team on a critical mission. They needed to infiltrate a Vorkath ground base and steal tactical data about the planet killer weapon. "Stay close," he told his team as they approached the alien fortress. "Remember, we can sense their positions now." The team moved with superhuman speed and coordination. When they encountered Vorkath guards, they instinctively knew where to strike. The alien armor, once impenetrable, now seemed fragile against their enhanced strength. Inside the base, Eric connected to the alien computer system. Knowledge flowed into his mind. "I have it," he said. "The planet killer is charging. We have less than 3 hours before it fires." He transmitted the data back to headquarters. "And I know how to stop it." Major Sam Collins received the information. "We need to target these 7 ships simultaneously," he told his staff. "They're generating the energy field for the planet killer." In orbit, Captain Foster received the coordinates. "All ships, new targets," she ordered. "Focus all weapons on these 7 vessels." The human fleet, despite taking heavy damage, changed course to attack the planet killer components. Their weapons, energized by Earth's power grid, punched through Vorkath shields that should have been impenetrable. Supreme Commander Zex Tool watched in shock as his carefully positioned ships came under attack. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Their weapons are primitive." His science officer had no answer. The impossible was happening before their eyes. On Earth, Dr. Paul Winters monitored the battle from the command center. "They're targeting the right ships," he confirmed. "But something's wrong. The planet killer is still charging." Dr. Kate Rodriguez studied the energy readings. "There must be another component we missed. Something hidden." Abby Miller analyzed the stolen data. "There," she pointed. "That moon base. It's the control center for the weapon. Without it, the rest fails." Sam immediately contacted Captain Foster. "There's a base on the moon. It's controlling the planet killer. You need to take it out." In space, Diane received the message. "We're taking heavy losses," she replied. "I don't know if we can reach the moon." Just then, a new voice came over the radio. It was Sergeant Kyle Patel, now piloting a captured Vorkath scout ship with his squad. "We heard. We're closer to the moon. We'll handle it." Kyle's ship, glowing with the same blue energy as the Earth fleet, accelerated toward the lunar base. The Vorkath tried to intercept them. But Kyle flew with impossible skill, as if the ship was part of his own body. Almost there, he reported as they approached the moon. "We can see the base." In his command ship, Supreme Commander Zex Toll received the alarming news. Human ships are attacking the Lunar Control Center. How did they find it? For the first time in the history of the Vorketh Dominion, their forces were in disarray. Ships that had conquered hundreds of worlds were being disabled by a planet they had dismissed as primitive. "All ships, protect the lunar base at all costs," Zex Toll ordered. But even as he spoke, blue energy pulses from Earth grew stronger, disrupting his communications. The battle for Earth had reached its critical moment, and humanity, enhanced by their planet's ancient power, fought with everything they had. The sixth day of the invasion brought surprising changes. All across the planet, humans began to display abilities that should have been impossible. Marine Sergeant Kyle Patel led his squad against a group of Vorkath soldiers in the ruins of Chicago. Outnumbered and outgunned, they should have been defeated quickly. "Stay together," Kyle told his people as they took cover behind a fallen building. "We move on my signal." Something strange happened next. Without speaking, all 12 Marines suddenly knew exactly what to do. They moved in perfect unison, flanking the aliens from 3 directions at once. Kyle could somehow sense where each of his soldiers was, as if they shared one mind. "How did we do that?" a young Marine asked after they defeated the alien squad. Kyle had no answer, but similar reports came in from battlefields around the world. Human fighters coordinating with impossible precision. Ordinary people instinctively knowing alien technology's weak points. Children guiding adults to safe hiding places that aliens couldn't detect. Dr. Kate Rodriguez analyzed blood samples from people showing these new abilities. "It's happening faster than we thought," she told Major Sam Collins. "The genetic markers aren't just activating. They're spreading from person to person, like a beneficial virus." "Is it dangerous?" Sam asked. "No. It seems to be exactly what's supposed to happen when Earth faces this kind of threat. The planet is literally upgrading its defenders." In the command center, Dr. Paul Winters studied energy readings from around the world. 25 sites active now, he reported. The network is nearly complete. Supreme Commander Zex Toll ordered a full biological scan of captured humans. His scientists made a shocking discovery. "The humans are changing at a genetic level," his chief scientist reported. "Their DNA is being rewritten in real time." "By what?" Zex Toll demanded. "Unknown. But the changes are making them more resistant to our weapons and more dangerous to our troops. Some can even interface with our technology now." This was unheard of. No species had ever adapted so quickly during an invasion. Zex Toll ordered more troops to the surface, determined to crush Earth's resistance before these changes spread further. In orbit, Vorkath ships began to experience more serious problems. Satellite technician Olivia Grant watched from her monitoring station as Earth's magnetic field formed complex patterns that seemed to target alien vessels specifically. "It's like the planet knows exactly which ships to attack," she told her supervisor. "Their engines are failing. Their weapons are misfiring. 3 more crashed in the last hour." On the battlefield, Sergeant Kyle Patel made another discovery. When he touched a fallen alien weapon, he instantly understood how it worked. The knowledge simply appeared in his mind. He picked up the strange rifle and fired it perfectly, taking down 2 Vorkath soldiers. "They can use our weapons now," a Vorkath commander reported back to the fleet. "The humans are adapting to our technology." Dr. Rodriguez had a theory about what was happening. Earth isn't just a planet, she explained to the gathered military leaders. It's a living system designed to protect itself. These sites we've been activating, they're like nerve centers. And humans are its immune system. That's why the Vorkath never stayed long during previous visits, Abby Miller added. They sensed the danger but didn't understand it. Colonel Eric Adams reported from the final major site in Australia's outback. "We've activated it," he said over the radio. "That makes 28 active sites now." As if in response, the ground began to tremble. Not violently like an earthquake, but rhythmically, like a heartbeat. All 28 sites glowed blue, pulses of light synchronizing until they beat as one. In the sky, the Vorkath ships struggled to maintain their positions. Their shields flickered and failed. Their engines sputtered. Several smaller vessels simply shut down, drifting helplessly in orbit. Supreme Commander Zex Tull watched in disbelief as his invasion force, the pride of the Vorkath Dominion, began to fall apart. For the first time in his long career of conquest, he felt something unfamiliar: fear. "Prepare the planet killer," he ordered. It was their weapon of last resort, designed to crack a planet's crust and render it uninhabitable. If we cannot have Earth, no one will. Vorkath landing ships descended on cities across the globe. Tall, armored aliens poured out, carrying weapons that fired beams of purple light. Buildings crumbled. People ran in fear. General Susan Wright coordinated Earth's military response from a bunker beneath Washington. "All units, engage the enemy. Buy us time," she ordered. Tanks rolled through city streets. Fighter jets screamed across the sky. Soldiers took up defensive positions. The human weapons were far less advanced, but they fought with courage. In New York, tanks fired directly at alien troops. The shells sometimes penetrated their armor. In Beijing, fighter jets targeted landing ships, occasionally bringing one down. In London, soldiers discovered that the aliens' armor had weak points at the joints. But it wasn't enough. The Vorkath were too strong, too numerous. "We need more time," Sam Collins told Dr. Paul Winters and Dr. Kate Rodriguez. "How many sites are active now?" 17, Kate answered. "But we need at least 30 to form a complete network." "Our teams are working as fast as they can," Paul added. "But many sites are in combat zones now." Sam nodded. "Keep going. It's our only hope." On his command ship, Supreme Commander Zex Tull watched the battle unfold. He was confused. His troops were winning, but something was wrong. "Why are our weapons less effective than expected?" he asked his science officer. "The atmosphere is somehow interfering with our energy weapons," the officer replied. "And there's more. Our soldiers report feeling heavy on the planet's surface, as if gravity is working against them." Zex Tull slammed his fist on the control panel. "Impossible. We adjusted for Earth's gravity in our battle suits." "Sir," another officer interrupted, "those energy pulses from the surface are getting stronger and more frequent. And look at this." He pointed to a screen showing Earth's magnetic field. It was changing, forming patterns like a massive invisible shield. Back on Earth, the battle raged. In a small town in the American Midwest, something strange happened. A farming family took shelter in their barn as alien troops approached. The father, Bill Harris, grabbed his hunting rifle, knowing it would do little good. But as the aliens came closer, Bill felt a strange warmth in his chest. His hands tingled. When he fired his rifle, the bullet glowed blue and tore through the alien's armor like it was paper. Similar reports came in from around the world. Ordinary people finding extraordinary strength when facing the invaders. A grandmother in Russia lifted a car to save her grandchild from approaching aliens. A teenage boy in Brazil suddenly understood the alien language and warned his neighbors of an ambush. Dr. Rodriguez analyzed the reports. "It's the GAIA network," she told Sam. "It's not just changing the planet. It's changing us." "What do you mean?" Sam asked. "The genetic markers we found, they're activating. Earth's defense system includes biological adaptations in its inhabitants." Sam stared at her. "You're saying the planet is upgrading humans?" "In a way, yes. Earth is fighting back through us." In Tibet, Colonel Adams and his team activated another site inside a mountain cave. This time, the energy pulse was visible even in daylight, a blue column shooting into the sky. Satellite technician Olivia Grant monitored Earth's magnetic field from a hidden facility. "Major Collins," she called over the radio, "you need to see this. The magnetic field isn't just changing. It's actively disrupting Vorkath ship systems. 3 of their smaller vessels just lost power and crashed. On his command ship, Zextol received more troubling reports. His ground forces were meeting unexpectedly fierce resistance. Human weapons sometimes bypassed their armor. Some humans displayed unusual abilities. And now his ships were experiencing system failures. "This cannot be," he raged. "They are primitive. Their world is primitive." His second-in-command approached cautiously. "Sir, there is a possibility we should consider. What if Earth is a guardian world?" Zextol went still. Guardian worlds were the stuff of Warcath legends. Planets that appeared primitive but harbored ancient defense systems. Planets that could adapt to any threat. Planets that had defeated the greatest empires in galactic history. "No," he whispered. "Not here. Not now." But the evidence was mounting. Earth was awakening. And the Vorkath, for the first time in centuries, faced the possibility of defeat. With only 15 days left before the Vorkath's new deadline, humanity worked on 2 fronts. First, they needed to keep talking to the aliens. Second, they had to activate more of Earth's hidden defense network. Lauren Chen walked into the meeting room, where 3 Vorkath officials waited. She was Earth's best negotiator. Her job was simple but dangerous. Keep the aliens talking while the GAIA protocol moved forward. "We need more time to prepare our people for your rule," she told the aliens, keeping her voice steady. "Such a big change requires careful planning." The lead Vorkath, a commander named Vornak, stared at her with all 4 eyes. "Your species tries our patience. We have conquered worlds far more advanced than yours." They also asked for more time. It changed nothing. Lauren nodded respectfully. "Of course. But consider this. A smooth transition means you get Earth's resources faster. Fighting means some resources get damaged." The aliens discussed this among themselves in their clicking language. Lauren had touched on something they cared about: efficiency. The Vorkath were nothing if not practical. 10 more days, Vornak finally said. "Then we take what we want, ready or not." Meanwhile, engineer Jack Martinez made a breakthrough at the research facility. He had been studying DNA samples from people who successfully activated the ancient sites. "There's a pattern," he told Major Sam Collins over a secure video call. "Certain human bloodlines carry genetic markers that can activate the sites. It's like a key that was deliberately placed in our DNA thousands of years ago." "By whom?" Sam asked. "I don't know. But whoever did it wanted to make sure Earth could always be defended, even after they were gone." Sam thought about this. How many people have these markers? About 1 in every 1,000. But here's the good news. Once one site is activated, it can help power up the others. Colonel Adams' success in the Amazon has made it easier to activate the remaining sites. At the Antarctic site, a team of scientists worked in the freezing cold to activate an ancient structure buried under the ice. When they succeeded, a pulse of blue energy shot into the sky, stronger than the one from the Amazon. On his command ship, Supreme Commander Zextol watched with growing concern as his scanning systems suddenly failed. "What is happening?" he demanded. His science officer looked confused. "Something is disrupting our technology. The energy pulses from the planet's surface are getting stronger and more frequent." "This is impossible," Zextol said. "We have conquered hundreds of worlds. None have ever fought back like this." "Sir," his second-in-command suggested, "perhaps we should contact the High Command for reinforcements." Zextol slammed his fist down. "No, I will not admit failure. Launch the attack now. Target their major cities. Show them our power." On Earth, Abby Miller detected the Vorkath ships moving into attack formation. "They're coming. Ahead of schedule." Major Collins activated the emergency broadcast system. "All teams, the Vorkath are attacking early. Activate whatever sites you can now." Around the world, special forces teams at ancient sites worked frantically. In Tibet, a mountain temple glowed blue as its activation sequence completed. In Egypt, deep beneath the Great Pyramid, Another site hummed to life. Off the coast of Japan, an underwater structure sent a powerful pulse through the ocean. Dr. Paul Winters and Dr. Kate Rodriguez monitored the energy readings from their command center. "It's working," Kate said excitedly. "The sites are connecting to each other, forming a network." But is it enough? Paul wondered. Above them, the sky turned red as Vorkath energy weapons fired down at Earth's major cities. But something unexpected happened. As the deadly beams entered Earth's atmosphere, they weakened, losing much of their power before reaching the ground. "Our atmosphere is dampening their weapons," Hall realized. "The activated sites must be strengthening Earth's natural defenses." The Vorkath fired again, with the same result. Their supposedly unstoppable weapons were being resisted by the planet itself. In the command center, Sam Collins allowed himself a small smile. "We might have a chance after all." But then the Vorkath changed tactics. Small ships descended rapidly through the atmosphere, carrying ground troops. If they couldn't destroy Earth from orbit, they would invade it directly. "They're landing," Abby reported, watching the radar screens fill with enemy signatures. "The ground war has begun." On the surface, world leaders prepared for surrender. They had no choice. But underground, in bunkers and secret labs across the planet, a different plan took shape. "We're calling it the GAIA Protocol," Major Sam Collins explained to the small group of scientists and military personnel. "It's our last hope." Dr. Paul Winters pointed to the holographic display showing Earth's internal structure. "We've discovered something incredible. Our planet's magnetic field and unusual composition aren't random. They form a kind of network, like a power grid spanning the entire planet." Beside him, Dr. Kate Rodriguez nodded. She was a geologist who had studied strange energy patterns in Earth's crust for years. No one had taken her seriously until now. "The aliens can't detect it because their scanning technology is designed to find artificial power sources," she explained. "This is natural, built into the planet itself. We've been living above an energy source more powerful than anything humans have ever imagined." "And we can use it?" Sam asked. "Maybe," Kate replied. "But we need to understand it first. There are sites around the world where the energy comes closest to the surface. Ancient people knew about these places. They built temples and monuments on them." Colonel Eric Adams, leader of a special forces team, stepped forward. "We found something in the Amazon rainforest, a structure older than any known human civilization. The locals avoided it, saying it was where the Earth spoke to the sky." He showed them photographs of stone walls covered in strange symbols. They looked like circuit diagrams mixed with ancient writing. "We need to investigate all these sites," Sam decided. "Dr. Winters and Dr. Rodriguez will coordinate from here. Colonel Adams, take your team to the Amazon. We'll send other teams to similar locations around the world." Above them, Vorkath ships moved into attack positions. The aliens were growing impatient with Earth's delay tactics. In his command ship, Supreme Commander Zex Tvull reviewed the scan reports. The readings made no sense. Earth appeared hollow in some places, impossibly dense in others, and the energy signatures were unlike anything in the Vorkath database. "This planet is masking itself from us," he realized. "How is that possible?" His science officer had no answer. This had never happened before. "Move up the timeline," Zex Tvull ordered. "We attack in 10 days, not 30. Colonel Adams and his team reached the Amazon structure after 2 days of difficult jungle travel. What they found amazed them. "It's not a temple," Adams reported back to base. "It's more like a control room." The stone walls were warm to the touch and hummed with energy. In the center stood a pillar of black stone with handprints carved into its surface. "There are instructions here," Adams said. "Not in words, but in pictures. They show people placing their hands on the pillar during a time of great danger from the sky." At other sites around the world, similar discoveries were made. A cave in Australia, a mountain shrine in Tibet, an underwater structure off the coast of Japan. All connected, all waiting. Dr. Rodriguez worked day and night analyzing the data. It's like Earth has a nervous system, she explained to Sam. These sites are pressure points. If we can activate them all at once, we might be able to wake up whatever defense system is built into the planet. What kind of defense system could a planet have? Sam asked. I don't know, she admitted. But ancient stories from every culture talk about a time when the Earth fought back against invaders from the stars. They all use different words: gods, demons, visitors, but the story is always the same. They came, they threatened, and the Earth drove them away. On the 8th day, Colonel Adams decided to try something. Following the pictographic instructions, he placed his hand on the pillar in the Amazon structure. The effect was immediate. The black stone glowed blue, and a pulse of energy shot from the site, straight up into the sky. In his command ship, Zextol was thrown from his chair as the energy pulse hit. Warning alarms blared throughout the vessel. What was that? He demanded. His officers scrambled to respond. Energy surged from the planet's surface. It disrupted our systems momentarily. Zextol narrowed his 4 eyes. Find the source and destroy it. Now. But on Earth, more sites were activating. More energy pulses were building. And deep beneath the crust, something ancient and powerful was beginning to stir. 3 Vorkath ships entered Earth's atmosphere the next day. They hovered over major cities like New York, Beijing, and London. Smaller craft dropped down from the ships. The aliens had come to take a closer look. Dr. Paul Winters watched from a hidden bunker as the aliens scanned a military base in Nevada. The aliens walked on 2 legs like humans, but stood nearly 8 feet tall. Their gray skin had a metallic shine, and their 4 eyes moved independently, taking in everything at once. They're scanning our weapons, Paul said into his radio. They're actually laughing. Major Sam Collins listened from the command center. What are they interested in? Nothing much. They glanced at our fighter jets and tanks, spent about 10 seconds looking at our missile systems. It's like they're just checking boxes on a list. That was not good news. If the aliens weren't worried about Earth's strongest weapons, then humanity was in serious trouble. Captain Diane Foster's submarine surfaced near the dark side of the moon. Her mission was simple but dangerous. Get close enough to observe the main Vorkath fleet without being detected. Through her telescope, she watched the massive ships. They were arranged in a perfect formation, like a well-practiced military unit. There's a pattern to their ship placement, she reported back to Earth. They'd done this before, many times. As she watched, one of the Vorkath ships fired a beam of light at a small asteroid. The rock didn't explode. It simply vanished. They just erased a half-mile-wide asteroid like it was nothing. She whispered into her radio. No debris, no explosion. Just gone. Back on Earth, a special United Nations meeting was called. Frank Howard stood before representatives from every nation. His job was to buy time through diplomacy. The aliens have agreed to meet, he told the assembled leaders, but only to discuss the terms of our surrender. A woman raised her hand. What if we refuse? Frank showed them the video of the asteroid disappearing. The room fell silent. We need time, he said. Time for our scientists to find a weakness, any weakness. At the Unified Defense Initiative headquarters, Abby Miller compiled all known information about the Vorkath. They'd visited Earth before, she revealed to Sam. Ancient cave paintings, old stories, even some religious texts. They all described visitors that matched the Vorkath. But here's the strange part. They never stayed. They always left quickly. Why? Sam asked. Unknown, but they were always described as being in a hurry to leave. Dr. Winters was testing soil samples when he noticed something unusual. When exposed to the energy from a captured Vorkath scanning device, certain minerals in Earth's crust reacted strangely. They absorbed the energy, then released it in a different form. Major Collins, I need to show you something, he said, excitement in his voice for the first time since the aliens arrived. 25 days remained before the deadline. The aliens had established outposts in strategic locations around the globe. They moved with absolute confidence, ignoring human military maneuvers like they were watching children play with toys. Supreme Commander Zex Toll watched Earth from his command ship. Another world to add to the Dominion. Another victory without struggle. The same story repeated across hundreds of star systems. Begin the detailed planetary scan, he ordered. Look for any resources worth harvesting before we reshape this world to our needs. The scan began, powerful energy waves passing through Earth's crust. But something unexpected happened. The energy readings came back distorted, incomplete. Try again, Zex Toll commanded. The second scan showed the same results. Something in Earth's composition was interfering with their technology. Curious, Zex Toll said. Run a geological analysis. For the first time, a flicker of concern crossed his alien features. Earth was not like the other worlds they had conquered. Its core, its magnetic field, the specific mixture of elements in its crust, they were unusual. Commander, one of his officers called out, "We're detecting energy spikes from the planet's surface. Energy we didn't see before." Zex Toll stared at the blue planet below. "Impossible," he muttered. "They're primitive. They have nothing that cold." Another energy spike, stronger this time, coming from deep within the Earth. "Keep scanning," he ordered. "Find the source." But the source wasn't showing up on their scans, because the source was the Earth itself, slowly waking from a very long sleep. The message came on a Tuesday morning. Every screen on Earth showed the same image at once. A tall, gray-skinned alien with 4 eyes looked down at humanity. Behind it stood a massive warship that made Earth's biggest aircraft carriers look like toys. "People of Earth," it said in perfect English, "I am Supreme Commander Zex Toll of the Vorkath Dominion. Your planet is now part of our empire. You have 30 days to surrender all weapons and accept our rule. If you refuse, we will destroy you. This is not a threat. This is what will happen." The screen went black. For 5 minutes, the world stood still. Then panic broke loose. Major Sam Collins sat in the underground bunker of the Unified Defense Initiative. 6 months ago, this organization didn't exist. Now it was humanity's last hope. Around him, military leaders from every major nation watched the replay of the message for the 10th time. "They can control our communications," said General Peters. "That's not good." Sam nodded. "And those ships. Our satellites count 25 of them just beyond Mars. Each one bigger than anything we've ever built." Abby Miller, their top intelligence officer, entered the room with a tablet in her hand. Her face was pale. "Sir, I've analyzed their language patterns and compared them to our historical records. This isn't their first conquest. The way they speak, the confidence, they've done this hundreds of times. There's no record of them ever losing." The room grew quiet. Sam looked at the frozen image of Zex Toll on the screen. The alien's 4 eyes showed no emotion, no doubt. "What do we know about their weapons?" Sam asked. Dr. Paul Winters, a thin man with glasses, stepped forward. He was the best physicist on the planet, brought in to study the alien technology. "From what our telescopes can see, they have energy weapons that could vaporize our cities in seconds. Their ships have some kind of shield our missiles probably can't penetrate, and they can travel faster than light, something we thought was impossible." Sam rubbed his temples. "So they're more advanced in every way." "That's what they want us to think," said a voice from the back. Navy Captain Diane Foster stood up. She had just returned from a secret mission to observe the alien fleet from the moon. "I watched them destroy our research station on the far side of the moon. They did it casually, like stepping on an ant, but something was odd about it." "What do you mean?" Sam asked. "They seemed surprised by how the debris scattered, almost like they expected our station to be made of different materials. And their weapons didn't work quite as well in our atmosphere when they fired a warning shot over the Pacific." Dr. Winters perked up. "That could be important. Earth has an unusual magnetic field and composition compared to most planets. A screen on the wall lit up. The United Nations was calling. Frank Howard, their top diplomat, appeared. His tie was crooked, and he looked like he hadn't slept. "I just finished trying to talk to them," Frank said. "They barely listened. They laughed when I mentioned our nuclear weapons. They said they've conquered worlds with much more advanced technology. They're not here to negotiate. They truly believe this is already over." Sam looked around the room at the representatives of Earth's combined military might. All their training, all their weapons, all their courage, none of it seemed enough against an enemy who had conquered hundreds of worlds. "Then we need to find something they don't expect," Sam said. "Captain Foster, you said their weapons acted differently in our atmosphere." Dr. Winters nodded excitedly. "Yes, and our planet's magnetic field is unique. Maybe there's something about Earth they don't understand yet." Abby looked up from her tablet. "They've started scanning the planet's surface. Heavy focus on military installations. They're making a list of targets." Sam stood up straight. "We have 30 days to find Earth's advantage. 30 days to discover something about our home that even we don't know yet. Because if we surrender, humanity ends as we know it. And if we fight conventionally, we lose." Outside, the alien ships moved into position around the planet, their massive hulls blocking the stars. Their victory seemed certain. But deep beneath the surface, Earth held secrets even humans had yet to discover.